Yeah, sorry. You can put this into the flight.
Alright.
Into the flight position if you like. So we wait for the rotor RPMs to spool up into the green. And we'll reference here. Sorry, you'll reference here and here. When your engine RPMs go up, your rotor RPMs will naturally go up as well. But when you start to pull on the collective, your rotor RPMs are going to go down. That's normal. That just means you're putting torque on the rotors, right? There's resistance. So if you grab the flight collective and you very gently use tiny movements on the stick, you can just very, very gently bring it to a hover. You want to be very careful to avoid POs, or pilot-induced oscillation. That means you're overcorrecting and you're swaying.
Got it.
If shit really hits the fan, just gain altitude, because altitude is really important. It's harder to hover when we're lower, so use a little bit of rudder and just start to bring her up gently. Alright? There we go. Pull back on the collective. Just to get a little altitude. There we go. You're actually doing a pretty good job for not hovering this thing very much. So a lot of people will immediately make huge inputs. And a lot of the time they get into pilot-induced oscillations very quickly. You're doing a very good job, so I'm telling the viewers not to compare yourself. Although
just make a right turn here.
Perfect. Yeah, dude, this is perfect. So if you're using the rudder, roll your shoulders, relax a little bit, wiggle the fingers and toes. We're actually going to try and center your instrument or your controls a little bit. So you want to center your rudder pedals and actually trim to correct for where you're going.
Got it.
See, we're going to try a little bit more of a complicated maneuver. Can you see this ADI, that little arrow I was talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so keep us hovering. That little thing, nice, good job, set her down. Very gentle. That little thing that moves left, that was moving left and right, that is actually the direction you're moving. If your little slip indicator, is what it's called, is over here, but you're pointing in this direction, you're actually traveling in this direction, but you're pointing this way. Usually, you're going to want to center where you're traveling with where you're pointing. So the way you could do that is correct with your trim on your yaw. But with a lot of helicopters, you'll actually have to do a gentle, very gentle bank to correct it. So if you ever look at the rotor blades on the Mi-24 Hind or aircraft similar, they're asymmetrical. The blades will tilt. They naturally tilt in one direction to keep you flying straight.
I see.
So that they're utilizing the physics of the blades to work with you and not against. How about let's try and lift her up. Let's get onto the runway and we'll do a 180. But you want to stay in the bounds of the runway, all right?
All right.
So try and hover. Let's not move at all. So very gentle on the controls. There you go. Very nice. So you want to make a few preemptive inputs to stabilize yourself, but when you're stabilized, you got to kind of counteract your previous movements. That's where it can get very dangerous with pilot-induced oscillations. You can overcorrect and then undercorrect.
Do you want me to make a 180 turn here?
Stay on top of it all the time. Yeah, let's stop moving. So you pull back on the cyclic, push on the collective a little bit. A little more pull on the collective. There we go. Nice hover. Get gain a little more altitude just so we're not kissing the ground.
Got it. Woo.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice. So, a little bit more of an advanced maneuver when we get back to the helipad, if you'd like to try it. You can try hovering over the helipad, not moving.
Yeah,
and
that is
if you want to
super
spice
hard.
it up, you can try and rotate without moving. That's a very good way of refining your skills.
Okay, there's
So
one.
real helicopters that have. Sorry, say again.
Yeah, there was one thing I wanted to ask. What happens when you're flying fast and you're not able to rudder the way you rudder when you're going slow? There's a technicality that there's probably a term for it that I don't understand.
I'm unsure of the technical term, but I do know the physics behind it. So when your helicopter's moving through the air, it's designed to have a particular shape to where it'll fly and point in the direction you want to go. Flying backwards is a little counterintuitive because the helicopter will try and self-right, so it'll try and flip itself back because of the air that's flowing over the body of the helicopter. So it would kind of be like the front of an airplane would have a point, whereas the back may have an engine or something in the rear. It would be more aerodynamically stable if it were pointing forward. So let's keep it in the hover. Don't touch the ground.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're touching the ground. That's all right. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, we're trying to refine our skills here.
Got it.
Very good. So let's try and hover and put the least amount of inputs in possible. So very, very fine movements. And you're just using your fingertips to correct. So it's okay. Don't overcorrect for that one. A little bit of push. A little bit of pull.
Ground crew is ready to set you up.
Altitude, because altitude is not going to hurt you. It's the falling that's going to hurt you. As long as you keep it relatively upright, we'll be fine. It also gives you more time to correct. So, see, if we were really close to the ground, you would hit the ground right there.
I'm just gonna land this baby right here. We can shut down the engine.
Rearm and refuel.
And call it a day.
Alright, yeah, let's shut her down. Hell yeah. Okay. So, first thing we'll do is, if you want to keep it running and, you know, put her on the ground for whatever reason for a while, you can put it to idle, flip on the rotor brake just to slow down the rotors, and then you flip it back off. But since we're shutting off, we can bring the power lever to off. So the engine RPM is going to start diving pretty intense, and we can flip on the rotor brake.
Ooh, it's really slowing it down now.
Sometimes, yeah, exactly. You don't want that to happen when you're flying.
Got it.
If you want to, you can be a little more gentle on it too. Like, we turn the rotor brake off and our RPMs are up here in this greenish to yellow region. We could have waited until it was in the red, but it doesn't matter too much for VTOL.
Okay.
But if, let's say this was your own helicopter and you got a play to replace the rotor brake, you may want to be a little more gentle.
Got it.
So the shutdown is super simple. You can shut off all the screens. You know, you ensure the collective is down. So you turn them off. We'll make sure our lights are off. Those are the last things to come off, other than the batteries. So
I think
turn
there's a
off the
bug.
lights.
I'm not able to use the switches.
Maybe.
Anyways, you get
Sorry,
you
my
get the point.
apologies for that. I'll get Danko on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we can flip the battery off. So this is another cool indicator. The color of the battery light is important.
Yeah.
If it gets red, orange, yellow, it's low. If it's green, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty straightforward.